beast, let out the beast.
The Jinchuuriki Alliance, a Naruto fanfiction. Prologue. They've been lying to you your whole life, Naruto. Ever since the decree 12 years ago, Mizuki sneered at the young blonde. Uzumaki Naruto was frozen on the spot, his brain racing to unwanted thoughts. He had been tricked into stealing the forbidden scroll of sealing, thinking that it would make him into a genin since he failed the exam. However, the plan backfired, and it turned out that Mizuki only wanted the scroll for himself. Naruto clenched his fist and stammered. What decree? He was confused. This didn't make any sense. Everyone knows except you. The silver-haired male raised a hand and pointed at the whiskered boy. Iruka's been trying to hide it from you. Even now, he'd do anything to shut me up. He laughed loudly. What is this decree? Why does everyone else know about it? Naruto yelled, clenching his fist until he could feel a small trickle of blood dropping from them. A young man with caramel skin heaved from the ground. Don't tell him! He shouted at the man in the tree. It's forbidden! Iruka shouted. Naruto was even more confused. His body was visibly shaking. He was thinking, wondering, why? Why am I not allowed to know? Mizuki gave Naruto a disgusted look, spitting at the ground, looking at Naruto as if he was dirt. The decree is that no one can tell you that the nine-tailed fox is sealed inside you. Naruto's eyes widened, his heart stopped, then started to boom loudly inside his head. You are the Kyuubi! Mizuki shouted at the boy, repeating the words and breaking the vow that all Konoha ninja had to take. It was an S-class secret. Naruto's heart was beating loudly, so loud that it felt as if it was beating out of his chest. He was frozen on the spot, his eyes wide and unbelieving. No! Iruka's shout rang through Naruto's head. He knew, Naruto thought. Suddenly, everything made sense. The pain, the constant everyday beating and hatred towards him, towards Naruto, for no reason, or so he had thought. Naruto couldn't believe it. He had been lied to his whole life. The demon fox was inside him, and this was why he was so hated. Mizuki raised his huge shuriken, and with one swift motion it spun towards Naruto, aiming straight for his head. Still in shock from the information that he was given, he stumbled back and cried in fear, Naruto, duck! Everything stopped. His mind froze, and he snapped open his eyes. When did he close them?
Brat.
The voice was unfamiliar to Naruto. It was deep and rusty, almost scratchy, as if it hadn't been used in a while. He raised his head and looked around. The area he was in looked similar to a sewer, but he didn't remember how he got there. He just opened his eyes. Dirty water audibly dripped down, and he noticed that his feet were underwater, up to his calves. What am I doing here? He asked out loud. He should have been scared, he knew, but somehow he felt at rest, peaceful.
You are inside your mind,
the voice said again. That made Naruto's heartbeat quicken. It didn't make sense. How could he be in his mind? Naruto spun around, his eyes settling on a jail-like structure where the voice seemed to be coming from. Who are you? He yelped, almost falling backwards. Large eyes snapped open in front of him. He stared back in awe at the slitted crimson orbs. They were animalistic and gave him chills.
I am the nine-tailed fox, Kyuubi,
the voice said lowly. It slowly came to light that the voice came from inside the cage. The ruffled orange fur of the fox bristled. Naruto fell into the water, feeling his legs give out on him and his knees buckle. But I thought I was the Kyuubi, Naruto stammered. The giant beast blinked owlishly.
What are you talking about?
It scoffed, if a fox could scoff.
We are completely different beings. I'm the fox, and you're a puny human named Uzumaki-Namikaze Naruto.
Naruto's heart stopped for about the 7th time that hour. He shakily stood up again. Namikaze? Isn't that the Yondaime's surname? Kyuubi nodded.
You are the son of Minato Namikaze, the one who sealed me inside of you, and Kushina Uzumaki, my former container.
Naruto lowered his head. So the Yondaime sealed the demon Kyuubi into his own son? Kyuubi nodded and raised an eyebrow.
I am right here, you know. But yes, he did.
Naruto sighed in a loud, dry laugh, putting his head in his hands. I have such a crap life. The Kyuubi's laugh boomed through the whole sewer.
Yes, but you're not the only one.
Naruto quickly looked up. I'm not? He shook his huge head.
No, you are not. There are 8 others. I am the strongest, the 9 tails, but there is the 1 tails, the 2 tails, 3 tails, 4 tails, and so on, until the 9 tails. Yours truly.
Feeling a warmth in his chest, Naruto smiled slightly. So there are those like me?
Yes, and you may want to go back into reality again, because your sensei wants to talk to you.
The giant fox looked upwards and then back at Naruto. The blonde suddenly felt a pain and tense feeling in his brain. He groaned and clutched his head. Naruto blacked out and felt like someone had walked over his grave. He snapped his eyes open again. Naruto. The first thing he heard was his name being cried out. We are the same! Iruka was perched above him, hands on either side of Naruto's face. The brunette's tears was dripping onto his scarred cheeks. Naruto's eyes looked at his surroundings. The shuriken was stuck in Iruka's back, and he was on the ground. There was blood dripping down Iruka's sides, and it made Naruto shake. How long was he talking to Kyuubi? It didn't seem long if it was connected to reality. Iruka's arms gave way and he collapsed, barely conscious. Naruto stared at his almost lifeless body and got up slowly. Ha! Even your pathetic sensei tried to save you, Iruka yelled at Naruto. That was it. He couldn't take it anymore. All the pain and anguish that he had felt throughout the years, all the torture that he hid behind a sunny smile exploded inside of him. Naruto glared at Mizuki, and he saw red. He saw blood red. Never lay your hands on my sensei, he spat at the unforgivable man. I'll kill you, Mizuki laughed. Come at me then, Kyuubi. Naruto heard a deep chuckle from inside his mind.
Don't mind if I do.
He blinked. Huh?
Time for me to pay my rent.
The emotions and heat that Naruto felt were unexplainable. Red chakra swirled around him. His nails elongated and formed red claws. His vision blurred for a moment, then adjusted into slits, much like his prisoners. Naruto simply smirked. He raised his hands, making his elongated fingernails visible, and cried the words, Multi-Shadow Clone Jutsu. There were suddenly millions of clones of the same Naruto with the same red chakra surrounding each and every body. The raw strength of it ripped up the trees, the grass, the air. Please! Mizuki backed away. The fear was flickering in his eyes until the surprised look on his face was completely overtaken by terror. Hearing all the commotion, Iruka's eyes cracked open, and Naruto turned to look at his sensei, seeing him smile. He said, Naruto. Naruto turned his head away from Iruka and grinned. If you aren't coming to us, we're coming to you. Every clone of Naruto said the exact same thing, making Mizuki freeze in fright. Seeing that talking wasn't going to get anywhere, not like he minded, Naruto, all of the Narutos, attacked at the same time. The rush from Kyuubi's chakra slowly retracted from his system, but the adrenaline continued, and he continued pounding his fists onto Mizuki's face. Thanks, Kyuubi. Naruto heard a deep chuckle and he grinned. When the beating was finished, Mizuki lay on the ground completely immobile. Iruka, feeling less pain from the injury he got earlier, stood up slowly and smiled at his student. Naruto, close your eyes for a second. Naruto, simply confused, shut his eyes and instantly felt cold metal on his forehead. Open your eyes. He did, and he smiled, with the sun reflecting on his new headband. Congratulations, you graduate, he grinned at the blonde. Feeling the sudden emotion of happiness, Naruto ran up and hugged him, the first person who accepted him, aside from the Hokage, of course. Thanks, Iruka-sensei. Naruto suddenly heard a voice in his head again.
Right, we have to talk.
Naruto's eyes narrowed, determined, arms still wrapped around the happy Iruka. I know, Kyuubi. I know.